Housewives. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve.
It is our regularly scheduled program, and we're back. We want to thank you so much for the response to our video this week about our mom's birthday and our special project, the 411 project. If you haven't seen that video, you can either search our channel, or we're going to link it somewhere. Either it's going to be on the screen, or it'll be in the description box, or it'll be at the end, but we're going to link that video here so you can watch it and learn about the 411 project. We're so excited. We've already had some really great response. Sorry, my phone is ringing. Sorry. We've had some good response already, and it's so exciting. So yeah, look for my mom's picture on the thumbnail. This is my mama, our mama. I had to share her with them first. They were there first, but anyway.
It was my mom before.
She's a usurper.
Yeah, I'm the usurper. And the baby came by 7 years later and ruined everything.
My brother put it, the pack of gum won't fit us anymore.
Yeah, because Trident gum used to come with 5 sticks.
No, it was
it was
Trident.
It was like
no,
the juicy
yeah,
fruit.
yeah.
No, it was
No,
the
you-
Trident, the little
no,
Trident
the juicy
envelope.
fruit.
It was the juicy fruit.
You were just a baby. How do you know?
I thought
It was a
the
juicy
Trident.
fruit. No, it was a juicy fruit.
it had
used to
5
come with
sticks.
5 sticks, and there was 5 of us, and then you came along, and there were 6, and Tim said the gum won't fit us anymore.
I ruined your life. So anyway, this is my beautiful mother who loved me equally.
And she didn't know how
I-
to chew gum. She kept swallowing it.
Yeah.
We kept saying, chew it like a cow.
The truth comes out.
Oh, being the youngest with these people is the worst thing. We won't talk about the torture, will we, Eve?
No.
And this one who said, "Your just existence is bugging me." This is what I live with. And here I am doing these videos with them. Anyway, thank you so much to our new subscribers. It's so exciting. We are at 92, which means we're going to do something big for when we hit 100. We're still talking about it, but we're going to have a giveaway of some kind and just celebrate that 100 mark. So we're almost there. So share the video, invite your friends, and it's just exciting. We're so thankful. We're back. And Beth, you want to go first?
Well, you want to talk a little bit about
So if you've watched our 411 project video, and even if you haven't, what it is we're doing a campaign to make pillowcases for a children's home, a Southern Baptist children's home in New Mexico,
that my mother was very
supportive of. Yeah, she talked about it all the time, so we decided to try to bless them with this. And they were very excited to find out. So one of the things that we talked about in that video is the requirements of how we talked about how you can help us and what it takes to make a pillowcase. And we just had an example here of some of the fabric, something simple that you can do. Eve just had this in her stash.
And I'm going to use it.
Yeah, so this is 1 yard of this Kit Kat.
It comes at Walmart. Pretty much anywhere. They have the packets of pre-cut stuff.
Yeah, so this is a yard of kitty cat fabric. I think I made
You made masks out of it.
I made COVID masks out of this fabric, and my husband and son try to avoid using them at all costs. Almost at the very last to clean masks, and then a yard of doggy fabric.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the doggy fabric and put the kitty on top.
Yeah, so the pattern takes 3/4 of a yard, so you would cut 1/4 of it off, and then another 1/4 yard for the cuff. So you can, if you have 2 fabrics that mesh like this, you can take 3/4 of one and 1/4 of the other and make a pillowcase, and then you can switch them. So then this one would be 3/4, and then you'd put a 1/4 of the dog fabric on it with a little piping in the middle. And that the video we made last week, or this past week, during this week, explains that. Yeah. Explains exactly how you would make those and how you would cut it.
So you could either contribute actual fabric, just send fabric for us to put together. You can put it together yourself if you're into sewing and all that kind of thing. Or you can send a gift card to Hobby Lobby or Joann's, where we can buy
from
fabric.
Hobby Lobby and Joann's. You send it to us.
Yes.
And
we can pick fabric.
Yeah, and we can buy fabric with that.
Sorry, I wanted up your fabric.
I've had several people already wanting to go ahead and like, we don't sew, but we want to support. So
Yeah.
And the reason we chose gift cards is we felt like it was the safest way for you all and for us. No bank accounts are involved and no fees. So we are dedicated and promise to use that only for this project, for the pillowcase project. So yeah, we're excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully it seems like we're going to get good response, and I'm really excited about it, and we will keep you posted.
Yeah.
So expect to hear from us about it, but just wanted to let you all know what's going on.
All right, so
She's gonna
I will go first. Okay. So this week I had another finish. I've shown this before. One of my Owl Forest kits. This one is Elephant and Pug. And so I started working on this some time ago, and since I'm doing cross stitch camp and I finished my cross stitch piece very quickly,
Which you've been doing all summer.
Yeah. I went ahead and finished Elephant and Pug. And I kind of wish the elephant had been a little darker in the it comes with a color chart, and on here the elephant is darker and shows up a little bit better. And if I had thought about it, I might have used a different thread. The kit includes the threads. Yeah, it's very light, and so I think
But the kit came like that.
Yeah, it came in the kit. So I didn't really think about it, And if you look really closely, you can kind of see the variation where I change directions, just to make it better to get from one section to another. You can kind of see like this little in the variegation.
Right.
But I think when it's put together, I don't even know how I'm going to finish it exactly. But so yeah, I think it'll look okay.
We'll put a picture up.
Yeah, it's cute. And so the kit came with the fabric, which is very nicely what do you call it?
Starched or serged on the edge.
Serged. That's the word I was trying to think. Yeah, so it's the pre-cut piece of fabric. It's 32 count Belfast linen.
That's so cute.
And
what does it say?
I think
Russian?
I think it says Elephant and Pug.
If any of you can read Cyrillic,
yeah.
please comment below.
There's translation things you can use on
I looked up the actual fable thing, and it apparently it talks about like an elephant is like being led through town, and this little pug dog comes along and is barking at it, and these other dogs are saying why are you barking at this elephant, because the elephant can obviously squash like a bug, and the pug's like, yeah, but if other people see me barking, they think that I've got some kind of like
control,
yeah, something like that, like I'm a big deal, yeah, and the elephant, so it's kind of interesting. At least that's the way I remember what I read about it. So yeah. But anyway, so I finished that, and so I was sitting around and thinking about what to do next, and so I was trying to decide. I have like several whips, and I thought, well, I should pick one of those. And matter of fact, I kind of did get out the Midnight Meow. I'm trying to would like to finish that, and that's a whole another saga. But anyway, but then I've had this kit. This is a Dimensions kit Winter Gathering. It's a whole bunch of little birdies sitting on a branch. and they've got all of their Christmas stockings. So and I just love this. I saw this at Joann's a few weeks ago, and I just couldn't resist it. I need, like I said in my posting, I need another whip. Like I need a hole in my head.
But sometimes it's just fun to start new things.
Yes.
Let me see.
So
this is so cute. I can't stand it.
So I just, I had put it off, and I thought, I don't need to start it. I don't need to start another project. I don't need to start another project. But I just liked it so much.
I like the little green boughs up here.
Yeah, the
little hat.
the trees in the background are half stitches. They're blended threads and they're half stitches, and so they're very ghostly.
Yeah.
And then there's.
It's so cute. We'll put a picture here. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty.
That one?
It's this person's name's on here somewhere.
Should be off to the left or something. I mean, right.
Kim Martin.
Yeah.
It is so adorable.
So I started. It came with the Ada and the threads, and the Ada was very stiff, and I had already like folded it in half and marked the center, and then it was really really stiff. So I took it out. I had already put it in the hoop too, because I was thinking I had a few weeks ago, I thought, okay, I'm not going to start it, but I'm just going to find the center, and I'm just going to put it in the hoop, but I'm not going to start it. So then I thought, the Ada is really stiff. So the other day when we were dyeing fabric, I guess it was.
Yeah, so it's right before we dyed.
I went ahead and
mostly I dyed fabric.
Yeah.
You wet fabric and you dyed it.
So, but I went ahead and
so
rinsed this off and rinsed the sizing out of it, so that it wouldn't be so stiff, and just put it outside in the sun to dry, and and I was like, when I picked it up, I thought, oh, I don't know, it really softened, but then the more I've handled it, it feels fine. It's nice and soft, because before I could barely put it in the hoop, it was so stiff. But anyway, so I started in the center, and the way this is designed, it kind of goes against what I usually do. I'm usually a color completist, in that, like, if I have this red, for instance, if I take it out, well, then I do all the red stuff. But the way this is, the way it's, excuse me, the way the birds are, sort of separate, and they're all like different colors and and everything else, that the space between where you use the colors is all very very different. So I'm working on basically one. I've just done this one bird, and I've done a little bit like this brown over here is another bird, but it's very. I just stuck it in there because I could count over. It was really easy, and some of this black is partly the tail of this bird and partly the beak of the next bird, I think, or something like that. So, but for the most part, it's I've just done this little bird in the middle, and then I just started going up to do one of the trees here. But yeah, so I started it just because I could. Because September 1st, I'm going to do the other thing. And I've had, I guess, at least one person, maybe two. I don't know. I was trying to look at my comments and to see if it's one person or two people that commented about doing the other owl, another owl forest kit, the Monster Wonder Whale, with me in September, and I'm also going to be doing And Heaven and Nature Sing.
Oh, that's so beautiful! I can't wait.
Yeah, my plan is to
work on that till September.
To work on this until September 1st, and then work on those other two projects for my September cross stitch camp showstopper pieces or whatever. yeah, we'll see how that goes. But that's my plan.
Oh, tomorrow.
So
Just thought of something.
yeah. So if you want to stitch either of those two projects with me,
Contact.
yeah,
Yeah,
let me
let
know
us know.
and
Or if you go to our link tree, in the description box, there's something that says link tree. If you click that, you'll get a link to the video of our 411 project, and you'll see this channel, and you'll see our Etsy shop, but you'll also see both of their YouTube channels on there. So you can find Beth's channel and watch her channel and see what she's talking about with those other those other projects that she's going to be doing.
So I'll be working on those come September 1st. Probably alternating maybe every other day between those two projects. Work on one project one day and the other project the other day, something like that, and maybe even squeeze this one in. Who knows? But
The cross stitch
so-
police aren't going to come get you if you don't stick to just one.
yeah, so
Or two. Or
Well,
three.
or 3 or 4 or 21 or whatever, yeah. So that's what I've been working on this week.
So,
Next.
who's next? You want me to go next, or you want to go next?
Let me just talk about this, and then you can go next.
Okay.
Because I can go last. That's okay. So I didn't get a lot done for many reasons, but I remember I showed you this. I finished the bag,
So cute.
and when I was getting ready to do Etsy work, my son got an email that he'd been expecting, and he was using the computer for about 4 hours, and he's still not done.
What charm did you put on?
I put a little, there's lanterns on here, and we'll
Oh,
take
it's
a
a
close-up
lantern
picture.
chart.
It's a little lantern on the zipper
We'll take a
pull.
close-up picture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I love that, and the polka dot. It's not really polka dot. It's square dot.
yeah,
Square dots.
Square dots.
I swear I clipped threads. I'll clip that before we take the picture. Threads are the bane of my existence. Anyway, just that. Okay.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah, and then I'll take my turn after.
Okay, so
Oh.
the only thing that I worked on this week was the Snark-o-meter. Oh, and I already started this clue 2. I finished clue 1.
I'm still working.
If you're still doing the mystery and you still don't know what it looks like, close your eyes. So this is clue 1 of Casapinka's Snark-o-meter. I'll put up a close-up photo. So this is my color A, and this gray is my color B, and then this variegated is my color C. And at this tippy top, you'll see that I'm doing my color D, which is this color, this maroon color. Isn't it pretty? I love it so much. That's all I've been doing this week. And aside from doing all kinds of other crazy things. I thought I'm gonna get this done in 2 days and then work on other stuff, but I didn't. It was one of those weeks. But I just love her. I love her pattern so much, and what I do in a pattern like this is I go through. I have it on my iPad. It's behind here, behind Mom's picture, but I go through the pattern and highlight all the color changes so that I don't forget, and really highlight the needle if the needle sizes change, because I will just blow right past as I want to do.
Does it change again?
What, the needles? Mm-hmm. It might, like if there's a lacy section.
No, I mean so far.
Oh, I just started it. I just literally downloaded this morning. I haven't read
I meant
through
so
it yet.
far, like up until today.
So, yeah.
The needle changes? No. In clue 1, there's no needle change besides
I
the
was
first one.
Because I kind of glanced through it and I was like, I don't see any.
So yeah, for clue 1, you do the small needle at the beginning, and then you go to the bigger needle. But then there might be later on, like a lace section, which if you're using the bigger needle might be too big. So she has you go down a needle size so that it's a little tighter or whatever. So, but I just try to look for those ahead of time. I'm too impatient right now to look through them because it just downloaded this morning, so I just decided to start it. But anyway, I'm loving it. I'm loving the colors. It'll be a nice wide scarf like the one last year, which is really nice. And all this puckering will come out in the blocking. It's just puckered because of the zigzag pattern here. But anyway, I'm just loving it, and that's all I did this week. Crafty wise, I think. Well, besides, the major push this week was Mom's video.
That was 3 days worth.
And we sewed all those and filmed for 2 days, so that kind of took
And
up.
then we went to Mom's.
Yeah, we went to her graveside on her birthday, and so it's been a busy week. But that's all I did crafty wise. So your turn.
Okay, so I also am doing the Casapinka.
I convinced her to do it with me.
And we talked about it last week. This is my progress because this is not all I've done this week.
Right.
I finished that. I started the other one, but time gets away from me, and we were using this table, and so this is how far I've gotten.
We were busy this week too, all of us.
And that my son was he wanted to use the computer, so I couldn't do any of the Etsy updates that I wanted to do, like our new address and all this. I was like, okay, I'll come in here and sew. No, he brought the computer in here so he could have quiet while he was working. I was like, okay, I guess I'll knit. Because in here, I was also beading on my little mouse. And
beading, not beating.
I said beading.
I know, I'm just...
She's making a joke.
Beading. It sounded like you said beating.
Well, she does. She did
beating on my mouse.
She wanted to beat it for a while.
Anyway, so I'll take a close-up picture. I've showed them on Instagram, Facebook, but when you take the pictures, the beads don't really show up, but in person, they're nice and sparkly and pretty. And I'm going to call it, when I get the beading done, I'm going to call it a finish as far as cross-stitch camp goes, even though there's more, when you put it together, you have to, embroider more on his nose. And you have to put more stuff on it. I say him. It's a woman. It's a lady. Snowlady. But it's very tedious work, and
that's why we thought you wanted to beat it. Also, beat this mouse.
So that, and I had mentioned on my channel last week. At Target, I picked up quite a bit of finishing stuff. They have a lot of cool stuff. And one of the things I purchased was these little envelopes that are for kids to practice their letters. It comes with a ABCs thing. I don't know why I kept it in there. But
and then you do dry erase on it.
You can do dry erase, and that way they can practice their letters, and you can erase it and they can do it again, or they can just draw. Honestly, I think they should draw with plain paper. We've mentioned that. So I had started on. Sorry, putting this back in. I had started on "And to All a Good Night" by Stitching with the Housewives. And I was really frustrated because the pattern is in 2 sheets this size. Not on the back of this. The back of this is blank. But it fits perfectly in here. And if I wanted to mark on the pattern what I've done, like I do electronically, I can. But more importantly, I just would flip it to see the other side, because I started in the middle, because I don't have my white yet. And
you don't have your what yet?
The white. To do the
your
snow.
white.
So I couldn't start in the corner like I intended to.
I see.
And so I started in the middle on this tree. And before I got this to put it in, I was like, and I couldn't hold both and look, and so this way I can just do this. And I just love this. And I know not all paper patterns would fit in something like this, but it was an awesome solution for me. I bought 3. I'm only using 1. You never know.
Can I see that?
is it's not like I would keep that in there forever after I'm done, but and it keeps the piece of paper from getting whooshed.
Yeah, like this.
So,
Yeah.
I had this in just like
In a bag.
in a bag, and
see,
you
like
know.
like this paper thing would fit perfectly in there, and you
Yeah,
would be able
that's
to
what
flip it
is-
around.
I'm having trouble with this because this is actually 2 pages,
Yeah,
And-
that's what that is.
and it's 2 pages this way, and the center of the pattern is right here. And I was thinking, like, you know, I really need to make a working copy of just the middle part because I really need to kind of tape it together to make sure. What I was really struggling with, like, wait, I have to line this up. Is this here or this here? I know. Is this here? Is this there?
You
Oh,
soaked it.
That's what I said.
That's
Just
all
read
right.
it.
It's kind of plasticky paper. But you know, like I was like, I need to like line this up because it's like,
But that's
you know, it's
so.
like,
I was like,
wait,
this is a
this
perfect
or-
solution
you know?
for
Yeah.
a paper pattern that you like. This is nice and in color, and I don't need to copy it or anything. But it'd be nice to be able to write on it. I don't have a dry erase marker that I want to use, but if I wanted to, I could.
Mhm.
Like if I put my joyful snowman, even the working copy I made would fit in here, and I could just mark off what I've done.
Yeah.
And so Target, that dog spot, what is it
Dollar
called?
spot, dollar.
It's the bulldog. It's named
Yeah.
after the bulldog,
Right.
whatever his name is, Spot. Oh, his name is Spot. That's what it is.
It's called the
So-
Target spot, I thought.
I don't know.
Anyway,
Anyway,
it's changed.
in the
names.
place when you walk in there's stuff. Wonderful chalkboard stuff, all
Yeah.
kinds of wonderful things that you can use for finishing.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna say,
showed a whole bunch on my
Yeah.
update.
yeah, I bought
Yes.
a bunch of those too. That'll be because I bought them
We
like
bought 'em at the
right
same
after right
We bought 'em at the
after
same
I'd
time.
done my update. So I think or
Yeah,
something
we,
like that.
we bought them at the same time.
Yeah.
Anyway, I started on the teal color. Now I'm not using the called for threads. I'm using Weeks Dye Works, which is why I'm waiting for the white. I bought my threads at the attic because I wanted to compare them to the called for colors. I just like the variegations in Weeks Dye Works better, and I wanted to use Weeks Dye Works. So the white I want to use, I have one skein, but I'm afraid if I start with that one, that the other two that I need will not look the same.
Well, to be clear, it's not pure white.
No.
Because everyone would think, oh, white is white.
No,
it's white with blue in it. And so it's hand dyed, and so you don't want to have some that is...
One thing that you
It's right here, and the one they had matched really well, but they only had one other one, and so I couldn't. I was like, I want to get all three.
one thing you can do when you have different dye lots or something, whatever, is to
Blend them together.
or whatever. So
And I could, there's a lot of like snowflakes, and I could just do snowflakes,
Mhm.
But you want
so-
to start in
but
that solid, was it in the words or something?
No, it's, but the words I want to use all the same color.
Right.
And on the houses, I want to use all the same color. Now, I could just work on snowflakes, but they're in random spots, and counting is hard. So, I think this on this fabric is going to look really pretty,
Oh, that's gonna be nice.
and it'll make the tree actually visible. So I was going to go to the attic yesterday, and I was busy. So I was telling my sister Beth, oh, we can go to the attic today. And then I was reading something about the thing that's going on at the attic this week, and I was like, I don't think I want to go there. But I really want to do this. And they said that they would order the threads for me. Hope nobody buys them all. So So
Oh, you didn't
You haven't
place a
called them?
special order. You just.
I mean, I didn't give them any money, but they took my name and phone number down.
Oh,
They
I
haven't
see.
called you?
No. They said that they have trouble getting stuff from Weeks Dye Works. That from the, what is the stuff that she uses? Classic Colorworks.
Mhm.
That's apparently dyed here in Tucson, and so they can get it easier.
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
If I call and they still haven't gotten it in, I might go ahead and order it from 123 Stitch or something. The problem is that if I don't go in person, 123 Stitch is going to get 3 this color. They don't care if all 3 match.
Mm-hmm.
I care, you know. So I really do want, and because I told the attic that I would like this, I do want to go and get it from them. And
Well, just call them even if they're having an event.
yeah, I'll
Give
call
them
them.
a call and see.
I'll call and see. They haven't called me, but that doesn't mean they haven't gotten it in. So anyway, that's that project. And then the last project, and the one I'm working on today, is the Tinymodernist, Sal, When Witches Go Riding. And I had gotten all the way to the E, and I said, I'm tired of doing this. I want to do the scroll work and stuff. I know a lot of people hate backstitching, but for me it's kind of relaxing. So I did this backstitching, and I had this line all the way done, almost to the spider, and I had started this one over here that's supposed to end right on this tip of the S, even though I didn't have the S in, and it wasn't aiming at the right spot.
No, no.
I was like, what the heck? And I'm like, I tried it again. Maybe I thought that line I had done something wrong, because you know it's at an angle, and no. And if you look at my Facebook posts and Instagram posts, if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, I had to take it back, and I had to take it back all the way to, now mind you, I was over here, okay? I had to take it back to right here. So basically everything.
With the backstitching?
Yeah, I had just this.
The letters weren't wrong. The
No.
backstitching. Oh, okay.
I had to take
I
it all
thought
the
you were
way
going to
back here.
say the letters were all wrong. I was like, oh
No, if the letters were wrong, I would have found a way to just work with it. So this time I was like super counting, and I thought I had, but I had just missed one stitch that made it one stitch too far in this way, and
That's
I
what
was
we should
like,
have.
oh
We should
my
have
God.
a poster or a cross stitch that says 1 stitch is all it takes. And it's true. Knitting, it's true. Cross stitch.
Stitch is all it
1
takes
stitch is all it takes.
to make the whole thing wrong. Yeah, so
No, you don't need to just dot. That's it. And anybody
So-
who does anything will understand.
I didn't know that in quilting they call it frogging too, when you have to take out the stitches.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Rip it, rip it.
yeah, you have to rip it, but then you don't want to rip it there.
Yeah.
Anywhere. So I'm still not done with July's thing. It's almost the end of August. So I might get done with July, maybe, by the end of August.
July's what? Cross stitch camp?
No,
Oh, the stitch along?
yeah, July's clue.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's 1 clue a month?
Yeah, and so I haven't even started on August's clue. It's the end of August.
And you started a knit along. And you.
Well, I told you I didn't need another project.
I know, but knitting is fun.
It was very relaxing, and
I
enjoyed it.
have 2 Tinymodernist things that are stitch-alongs that are
Years
not
old.
completed. I have
I know you talked about it before, but I
Doesn't make her feel any better.
I don't care that I'm behind, because I knew, in July, I knew it's starting in July, and July's project, I knew my cross-stitch cap project was going to take a long time. And my mouse, I've just been working on it periodically.
Is that your cross stitch camp?
This, yeah.
Can I see it?
And I'm going, if
wow.
if I get started on the August before the end of the month, I'll be ecstatic.
This is really complicated and pretty.
And detailed. Yeah, no, it's very.
I would. What? Oh. Wow. That's a lot of work for a tiny little tiny
that's
little
all I
mouse.
have, but I do have a story real quick.
Okay, it's story time.
I do have a story. So, right before we started filming, or just after we started filming, Naomi wanted to go get something from a coffee table behind us.
Now, is this your story or my story?
It's mine. So
It's all of our story.
so she had just come in that door. You can't see the door.
Front
Yeah,
door.
you can see
see
it
the
right here.
She had just come in
That's
that
the front
door when she got here, and I'm guessing that's when it happened. Who knows? Poor thing. So she went over
there.
She went to. She was getting something off the coffee table. Oh, Mom's picture.
Yeah.
And and I was talking to her, and I saw something.
And she uttered these
something
words
dark
that nobody ever wants to hear. Is that something running behind you?
And honestly, I thought it was.
I'm barefoot. I'm over there.
My first thought went to a very large bug, even though we have monthly pest control because it's absolutely necessary here in Phoenix. And
I was terrified that it was a scorpion.
I was worried that it
that
was
would
a
come under the
roach.
heading of bug. I was worried it was a roach because it was dark. It was like blackish looking, and she's like, "What?"
And so I turn around, and it was not a bug. Well, I saw something large and black, and my first thought was that it was a Palo Verde borer. If you have never seen a Palo Verde borer,
they're scary looking.
look it up. Palo, P-A-L-O, Verde, as in the color green, borer. They can be like 3.5 inches long, big old beetle. They're terrifying, but they're just bumbling idiots. They don't do anything. They do. I guess they do fly, but not very much. So, but that's what I thought it was.
And they don't have a very long lifespan either.
And then for a split second, that's what I thought it was, and I was like, and it was a lizard. So I was like, okay, I can handle that. And I kind of was trying to shoo it back toward the door, and the dog was coming to investigate, and it was a big hullabaloo. But I opened the door, and anytime you open the door, the dog barks and comes and has to investigate. But he was right in the corner by the door, so I got a paper, and I just opened the door, and he went out into the freedom of the desert.
So it ended up being a nice
sweet little
thing.
lizard.
Poor little lizard got trapped in here somehow.
But when we first moved into this house, Robert and I were in the kitchen. I don't know what we were doing, but it was with the old dishwasher that we had before. But we were doing something, and there was a lizard that was running around in the kitchen, and it ran under the dishwasher at one point. And
They get in our house all the time. But I mean, I don't know about these boys, our cats, but the other cats. Pippin was more of a hunter. Let's just put it that way. But one time we were cleaning out our garage and we found little lizard eggs on the side of the garage. They were not viable any longer, but yeah, little lizard eggs. I don't mind lizards. I'm like, come here, babies.
Yeah. I like
Eat all the
lizards. They
bugs.
eat bugs.
Yeah, eat all the bugs you want, sweethearts. But
yeah, we had a lizard out in the fire pit outside.
yeah. Oh my gosh! So in our backyard, the other day, I was walking around, and you hear and you think that most of the time during the heat of the day it's a lizard. It's not really bugs or anything. But there, I swear, was a dinosaur. It was the biggest lizard I've ever seen. It was probably, most lizards are like this when you see they're just little newts. They're just tiny and flat to the ground. This guy, he was as thick as a branch. and he was probably like this long, big, muscly arms, and just. I was like, where did you come from?
Well, the other day when we were driving up to the house, there was a big lizard, like running across the driveway at one of the neighbors, because I was like, "Wow!"
Yeah.
And because he was really big.
Well, that guy had to have been pretty decent size that was behind you, because I saw him from all the way across the room.
Yeah, he wasn't too bad. He was like just a couple inches. His tail wasn't very long. He looked like a baby.
Oh,
But but he wasn't too.
I hope he wasn't trapped in here a long time.
Probably not. Probably not.
Probably just came in when you brought in the drinks.
Or he's been traveling from the back door and finally found his way.
I was gonna say,
well, we've had a lot of rain, and it's
Yeah.
displaced a lot of a lot of things outside. When I say a lot of rain, it didn't rain that hard at Naomi's house. Phoenix is like that. It's so wide.
No, we got a lot of rain, just not this last one. But it's
This
rained
last
almost every day.
Yeah, I know. I haven't been swimming. It's sad. She was in Mesa, which is pretty far away from us, and
and it was raining there. It just wasn't.
But
cats and
here-
dogs.
the skies opened up and all the water fell out all at once. And the thunder was booming it felt like right above our house. And the next day I saw trees that looked like they had been hit.
Oh wow.
So the rain was coming down to my dog. Talk about interruptions. That day was just like interruption after interruption. But the dog does not like being wet. She hates it. She won't get in the pool.
She thinks she's made of sugar.
Yeah, she just no. And she was found by my son's friends in a park, and I figure maybe the sprinklers came on and scared her or something. I don't know, because she was little, and I guess somebody abandoned her and maybe others, I don't know, in the park. But my son's friends found her, and that's how we got her. And so she won't go out in the rain. And it was pouring, and she comes to me, and she won't go. She has a dog door that she can go out anytime she wants, but she won't. She wants you to open it for her. The only person that can make her go out on her own is my son.
I wonder if it shut on her once and she got scared.
I think it's the jumping out that bothers her. I
Because
think
it's high. It was really made for a bigger dog.
Yeah. So, so she's like looking at me like her little eyes go to me and then they go to whatever she wants, like this.
Yeah, dogs are so smart. Though.
and I'm like, trust me, you don't want to go outside. And she's looking at the door, looking at me, looking at the door, looking at me. So I got up and opened it. She poked her little face out a little bit and then backed up and was like, yeah, no.
It's raining too much.
And then she ran around to the back door. I was like, okay. But I didn't want to put on shoes or anything because I knew that the water was flooding up in the backyard, which happens.
They have concrete at the back door.
The whole, almost the whole yard is a pool deck.
Yeah.
So
the water just stands there.
Yeah, and it's one of that cool concrete, so it doesn't burn your feet. But
so you went out waiting.
so I had to go get a towel first because I was like, I'm not going out there without a towel to come back on. And I went out there. The water was more than ankle deep, and it was flooding all the way to the pool.
Oh my god!
From the porch. And she had to run out pretty far to get where she could go to the bathroom without standing in water, because she just hates being in water.
So funny.
Yeah, but she.
Well, I have a story from that rain that same night. I was working at I work with a local youth symphony, and it was audition night. And so the way audition night works, you come and you register. You know, you get cross your name off that you're here, and you go into a warm-up room with everybody else, and everybody's playing everything, and this is all strings that night, and just everybody sits there and they play their stuff and they just warm up together. And then you're called one by one to go do your audition. So I was a runner. I was going to go, I go and get the kids from, I was doing cellos, but I go get the kid and take him to the judge and then take him from the judge back to the room and then get the next kid, right? But in between kids, I was just standing around. And that particular place, that building where we were, had like an open breezeway. The hallway was kind of open on both ends to the elements, basically. And the classrooms themselves had air conditioning and stuff. So since it was kind of muggy, I'd kind of go out into because my room was right there. So I just walk out to the front door and stand out, kind of enjoying a little bit of the rain. And at one point, I hear a violin playing Blvd, and I'm like, it sounds like it's outside. And I thought, because, you had all the warm-up room, and all the kids are playing the same Blvd, in the warm-up room. And then, this is getting wet on your cup. Sorry. And then, but I'm like, no, it sounds like it's outside. Now, I knew that one of the audition rooms was in the next wing, like there's like a breezeway, and then the next wing. And I knew that was one of the audition rooms over there. So I thought, is their window open? Like, why am I hearing this violin wafting through the outdoors? And I thought, that's really weird. And it was sprinkling. Raining, sprinkle rain, like that. And so I walked outside and I thought, what am I hearing? And I walk out there and I'm localizing the sound, and it's coming from the parking lot. Like, there's 2 rows of cars parked like this, and it's coming from in between the cars. And I start to realize that it's somebody playing their violin outside in the rain. Yeah. And I come around this truck, and this mom is holding up 2 umbrellas.
Oh my God.
2 umbrellas over her son, who's taller than her. And he's playing Vivaldi in the rain. And I thought, maybe he doesn't realize that there's, maybe it's his first time here. He doesn't realize there's a warm-up room. So I just interrupted him mid Vivaldi, and I said, did you know we have a warm-up room where you can, And Mom turns around, she goes, he knows. He just doesn't want to play in front of everybody else. And I was like, okay.
That's not going to work out well for that.
Well, and I'm like, I walked away and I'm like, honey, everyone can hear you coming and going. You are playing in front of everyone. And you're going to get your violin wet, which is horrible. I was like, so as I walked away, I'm like, don't get your violin wet. And Mom's like, I know. And I'm like, that is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
There's times when you need to tell your kids, no. That instrument costs a lot of money.
Well, but also, like, don't you realize everybody can hear you? Like, I heard you from yards and yards away. So that is no different than going and sitting and playing in a group full of people. I mean, poor thing. Maybe he was really nervous or unused to it, but I just thought that was really, I'm like, do not play the violin in the rain, okay? Do not do that. Speaking of violin,
in spite of what they do in movies, because they don't care if they throw them away.
Yeah. Speaking of violin in the rain, my daughter just texted me. I just saw a text come over because that hurricane is about in the East Coast. Oh yeah. I guess it's like Rhode Island area. It's going up the coast, supposed to hit Boston tomorrow. And guess who left her umbrella in Connecticut?
Oh.
At her summer camp.
Well,
I'm like,
buy one.
She's like, I lost my umbrella at Norfolk. I'm like, honey, there were 20 people there. Like, it was the tiniest camp ever. How could you? I said, I don't know. I put it down somewhere. So no, she walked to Target, and guess what? No umbrellas.
I remember when we went when you went to school in Boston. We went to go. We were staying in some hotel, and
the Midtown.
Yeah, and but we went to.
I don't mind saying it because it deserves
we were. We went. There's that walking tour. That.
Stealing scissors.
Paul Revere walking tour or whatever. And you follow the red line. Yeah. You follow the red line around Boston.
Love it.
So I think you had orientation meetings or something like that. And so Mom and Dad and Tim and I went walking around Boston. But that day it was like raining. And so when we came out of the T, we bought umbrellas at some, there were some guys standing there, at the entrance, selling
like
umbrellas.
Santa Claus in the Christmas.
Yes.
Exactly. Well, umbrellas only do so much good.
I had that little umbrella that we bought there for years.
Of course you did. You keep everything forever
Until
and ever
it
and ever.
like kind of fell apart.
I learned in Belgium, now usually it wasn't hard rain, but I learned in Belgium that I just can't be bothered with an umbrella most of the time. Because if you take it with you, it's not going to rain enough to need one. If you leave it in wherever, of course you're going to get wet. But in the rain, it only feels bad until you're wet, and then you don't notice anymore.
Yes, but in Boston, in certain parts of Boston, umbrellas don't do you any good anyway because it rains upside down there. Mm-hmm. I remember as going to school, walking down Huntington Avenue, where the wind was so bad because the wind would come. They call Chicago the Windy City, but the wind would come so hard in between those buildings that the rain would just go up, like under your umbrella. Like, I have an umbrella, but I'm still wet. How is this possible? Thank you, Boston. But oh my gosh.
When I guess in New Mexico it rains like during the monsoon season. I used to joke about it would, rain every Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock for an hour, and then it would be over with. And, but in Indiana, when I went to, in Bloomington, when I went to graduate school, it seemed like it would rain nonstop for a week.
Yep.
Like it would go to a light drizzle, and then it would rain, and then it would go to a drizzle, and then it would rain, but it never would actually stop. And I'm like, how could there be this much moisture in the air?
That's what happened to Hannah in Norfolk. Her first week or two, she's like, Mom, my shoes won't dry out.
Yeah.
They won't dry out. There's nothing, because it wouldn't stop raining, and it was so humid, and, she was having to slog through the grass and the, puddles and all this, and she soaked both her pairs of shoes, and nothing would dry, and...
I remember when I was in school there, you'd go to class, and like I remember my friend Greg, who he went to graduate school there for a year before I went out there, and he was like, buy an umbrella, keep an umbrella, and so I had one, and I would go to class, and kids didn't have them, I guess, would come to class sopping wet. Just soaked because they walked through the rain, and in Little Rock it was kind of that way too. It just rained a lot, whenever, you just had, it was very humid, and
I can remember
rain
in
nonstop
Florida.
like that.
I remember in Florida coming out of my work and it's pouring, and people are standing on the edge of the shopping center, under the eave, waiting for the rain to stop, and I would just walk to my car. It's like, we don't get a notification. It's going to rain for 10 minutes.
Actually, nowadays you do.
Yeah,
but it says rain will be starting at 10:52 p.m. Really, Google? Okay. And it's usually right. That's the scary part. Maybe Google actually just controls the rain.
What when you were talking about how when you saw something running behind you, the first thing I thought of was that mouse in Boston at the hotel.
Yes.
I just knew that I was like, is that a shadow on her dress? Is there something swinging from behind her?
But you just don't ever want to hear those words. There's something running behind you. It's like, have you checked the children?
Yeah.
The call's coming from in the house.
Yeah.
That's one of those. No, but okay. So talking about animals, like talking about creatures. So the other day, my cats were acting very strange. So for some reason,
that's never a good sign.
Yeah.
Whenever my cats find something that they're not supposed to have, it's usually a ball of yarn or my knitting.
Or
they take it,
or a Rice Krispie treat.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. They steal it and they take it to the entrance of my bedroom. Like that's somehow where they bring their prizes. So one day they were congregating. You know this little thing where they're both like their little heads are like this. And I'm like, what are you doing? Go away. And I shoot them. That's not a good sign. And I ignored it. And I walked through. I said, what are you doing? Go on. And I walked out and I come back and I'm in my room and I turn around to go to the front door. I mean, out my bedroom door again. And it's kind of morningish light. And there they are like this. And I'm like, what do you have? And so I shoo them away and it was something black. And I looked really close and it was a cicada. And I was like, like, this is your job. This is on the Y chromosome. You must do this. And it was dead, fortunately. But I'm like, I don't care if it's dead. You have to get rid of it.
Well, at least they kept At least they kept it from flying around the house.
Well, exactly. So I don't know if they killed it or they just found it dead and they were like, what is this? What is this? Ooh, I don't know. Because they're such babies. But it reminded me of, and they're good fly catchers, so I appreciate that. Then they sit there and eat them. It's so
especially
nasty.
since we've had a lot of
But
flies.
it reminded me of, well, I think I mentioned the rat, right? In the backyard. Mm-hmm. Okay. And we have a stray cat that we used to shoo away. Did I talk about that already?
I don't know.
There's this orange cat that's been living, and he or she, we think it's a she, has been stray for a while. And we used to always yell at this cat. I'm like, get out of here, you know? Because we don't want, we didn't want to upset the cat, our cats. We didn't want, our cats to have behaviors because our cats don't go outside. We didn't want them to have behaviors if they see the cat outside, and all that. So we'd always been shooing him away, her. And Quilter, if she would go outside and that cat would be around, she'd bark at it.
Maybe it's a girl cat that identifies as a guy.
I don't know. But anyway, it's got a tipped ear, so we know it's been spayed or neutered. But, so then we found the rat dead in the back, and I freaked out. And the next morning, early morning, I was looking out the back door, and that cat was sitting there. And I looked at that cat, and I said, I'm never going to yell at you ever again. You are so welcome in this backyard. And you can kill whatever you want, even if it's a bird. You keep those rats away from my backyard. So we've named her, we think it's a her, we've named her Creamsicle. Mark calls her Creamsicle. I wanted to name her Tippy, because the tip of the tail is white. And I'll put a picture here. She's kind of beautiful. She's got looks like a puma. Like she's got those nose lines right here. And so we see her, and during that one of those really bad storms, so we get a warning this week. That's right. We get a warning on the phone that said, expect 80-mile-an-hour winds, life-threatening.
And it was
bad.
Brutal wind. Yeah,
that wasn't the same storm where we were talking about, but it was another one, and
it took down so many trees.
Yeah, and so we were kind of monitoring. It said, "Stay indoors, stay away from windows." It was that bad.
Yeah, we closed all the shutters in the house, every single one.
So I was not staying away from the windows because I was watching our trees, but so it was wind, really scary wind, and right before it started raining, I see Creamsicle go across the porch and then toward the end of our yard, toward the other side of our yard. And I know that direction there's no shelter. And I was like, where are you going? Where are you going? And then it went bam and it started raining really bad. And I just kept thinking about her. Like, obviously I'm not going to take the cat in, but I was like, I hope you found shelter, because we have big rose bushes in the back, so I thought that's where she would have stayed, But maybe they were moving too much. It was too scary. But I saw her the next day, so she was okay. But so we've adopted our cat, our stray cat, because we don't feed her or anything like that. But yeah, I'm like, I'm never gonna shoo you away. You go ahead and do whatever you want, honey, because I want you to keep the creatures at bay. But I was thinking about cats when I saw that cicada. I was thinking about cats bringing things in. And remember, your cat Moses brought in a whole bunny?
Yeah.
Oh.
When I was living at home
in New Mexico.
Yeah, and
I didn't know he brought in a bunny.
Yeah, you had already moved out.
Most of the time you had Moses. Yeah. I don't think I even.
Yeah, I was in college, and
that's when I was in Belgium.
Naomi was in our other bedroom at our house. So, but she would sometimes forget her house key, and I had my bedroom window unlocked, and
I would climb in the window.
so she would climb in my bedroom window, and
but didn't you leave it open on purpose?
She left it,
Yeah.
so he could go in and out.
But yeah, because my screen, the screen of my bedroom window had a little corner that was kind of bent, and so my cat Moses would go in and out to this bent corner of the screen.
This was back when we used to not know any better and let our kitties out.
Well, no,
So-
she found the cat. He was an adult stray. Right?
Yeah. But so anyway, Naomi had forgotten her key at one point, and had pulled the screen off my bedroom window and had come in through the window, and let herself in. And so I kept saying put the screen back on my window, but and she hadn't yet, so the screen was still off the window. So my window was open a few inches, and anyway, I was asleep, and I heard this. I woke up and I heard this, and I like, what is going on? And I could tell there was. I don't know if I could partly see in the dark or there, whatever of my room, but I could tell there was one cat on the windowsill and one cat across the room. And
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so I jumped across the room real quick and turned on the light because I was afraid, like, if I made any sudden moves that these cats would start fighting or something. And what it was that Moses had brought in a little baby bunny.
Was it dead?
Yeah.
You probably killed it.
And well, I don't know because the neighbor's cat that I called George, I don't know what the neighbor's cat's name was, but the neighbor's cat was on the windowsill.
Oh my god!
And so I don't know if Moses took the bunny from this other cat and that's why it came in, or if the other cat saw the bunny, was trying to take it away from. I don't know, but there was a dead bunny and two cats.
So you had to be the judge and jury.
Yeah. So I'm like, I think I yelled to my dad, "Dad, Moses brought a bunny in my room or something," and there was like little drops of blood, on the dresser or on the floor.
So cat.
And so I chased the neighbor's cat back out the window and shut the window, and then I used the litter box scoop to pick up.
And what did Dad say? Deal with it yourself?
I know nobody came to my rescue, but so I got some. I think I got some Kleenex or toilet paper or something, and picked the bunny up with the litter box scoop, and went outside and like tossed his little body out in the backyard.
And
so I gave it to the
like,
neighbor's cat. Yeah.
That's my jam.
Yeah. That was going to be my midnight snack.
Gross.
So yeah.
Cats will be cats. Always.
Well, I was lucky that Moses didn't get bubonic plague from that bunny,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a very bizarre incident, middle of the night incident. Yeah. So then I scolded Naomi about putting the screen back on my window, so I wouldn't have any more dead bunnies.
Oh my god, that was not my fault. No. But how would he else? What else would he have gotten in? You would have just left him out all night.
Yeah. Well, no, he would, like I said, he would come in through that bent screen.
Well, then how would it have prevented anything if I put the bent screen back?
Because then the neighbor's cat wouldn't have come.
Okay, yeah, that's just blaming.
You're just blaming me because you didn't like the dead bunny in your room.
That's my favorite thing, is blaming Naomi for it.
Yeah. True. Speaking of blaming Naomi, when we were at her house earlier this week, Naomi and I were practicing for the this upcoming
orchestra.
Yes.
Tuesday.
Yeah. That she's gotten me back into playing it, and I'm still struggling with it. It's not easy, but
It was nice hearing
you
play music again.
So anyway, Naomi and I practiced because Eve had some doctor's appointments that morning, and then we were getting together to work on the pillowcase project thing. And so anyway, we were at Naomi's house for most of the day. And so then we were leaving, and I have my bassoon on the little luggage cart thing.
That was not my fault.
No, it wasn't. But
I wasn't even there. It was your fault.
Yeah,
you weren't
it
paying
was.
attention to what you were doing.
So as I was leaving,
I was holding the
don't
door.
know.
I told her, go ahead of me, and I'm holding the door.
Yeah, so I don't
So
know
it's your fault.
if it was stepping off of the little, there's a little cement step in the garage. So I don't know if it was as I stepped off, because I kind of think I stepped funny because of how it all happened. But I started to fall, and there's kind of like, there was nothing for me I didn't know what to grab onto or whatever. And so there was a little table or something on the side here, and I remember wrecking into that, because I had like a little bruise, just a slight bruise across my wrist here. So I think I hit,
You're probably trying to avoid
Yeah.
wrecking into my
You
car.
hit,
Yeah, I was
you
like-
hit a lot of things. going
yeah,
on.
I was like,
You hit
and-
everything on that side of the garage. going
but so anyway,
She fell flat on her
I
face.
fell, yeah,
down.
on my
It was
knee and
terrifying.
Now, when you go to the doctor and they say, "Have you had a fall in the last year?"
Yes.
you have to say
yes,
yes.
I have. As a matter of fact, I always say that adults should not fall down. Toddlers can fall because they're a lot of times they're still wearing a diaper.
And,
And
they're
they
only
fall on the
one
padded,
foot
their
from
padded
the
bottom,
ground.
and they're very close to the ground. Adults, you weigh, your full body weight, and B, you're far from the ground, and C, you have no diaper padding. Hopefully, most of the time. So anyway, I fell on my bad knee
You
that
fell
I
on your
fell on
Thomas
before, and and so I was actually
Remember when Dad used to say you fell on your comaceo?
yeah.
You're como se llama.
Well, that's one of my favorite lines from what is it, Music Man, where he's singing about Marion the librarian, and he says, "If I fell and I injured my whatchamacallit." But so I was afraid that like I had hurt my knee, because and it's kind of sore. I can feel it, like when I'm climbing on my bed and I put my knee down there, I can kind of feel this little soreness. But I didn't. I had like a little tiny bruise. I just a little scuff mark. I
See, you can blame me for anything.
But the funniest thing, and the most painful thing, was actually I have a bruise right here. My shoulder, was kind of sore to the touch right here. It doesn't hurt like to
You're trying
move
to
it
break
around
my
or anything.
tables that I have stacked there.
But it hurts right here, and I when I was like I was checking in the mirror every once in a while, like, do I have any bruises? That are just like the aftermath of the fall, because usually you don't feel it so much in the moment because of your adrenaline and everything else. But the next day, is when all the soreness happens and everything else. But so that's when I saw this little bruise on my wrist, and
Excuse me.
but I had so I don't know if it was from my bra strap, but I think it was my purse actually, because I had my purse, the strap of my purse crossbody, and I think that it has a little buckle, and I think that was the little buckle. But I had like a big bruise on my shoulder, and it's actually gotten worse.
You hit that little bookcase thing there pretty hard.
Yeah, I don't think it was that though.
My
I think it
garage
was,
is booby trapped.
Yeah.
So-
but yeah.
But the thing is that when a child falls, they don't try not to fall. They just go. And an adult, you're going to fall, and
yeah.
When I'm coming up on the anniversary of it now, because I'm about to go to Boston, right? Last year, I flew out with Hannah by myself to help her move into her little studio apartment. And the reason my husband and son didn't go was because of COVID, right? It was travel restrictions, and it was a big mess, and we didn't want to, so it was like minimal. What we're trying to do the least amount of risky things. So I flew with her, and we got everything set up, and we were doing great. And we decided to walk to Target to get, stuff And we're walking along, and I'm not paying attention, and I forgot that even though I cut my teeth on Boston, and I knew Boston, I forgot that the sidewalks in Boston are not the Phoenix kind of sidewalks. And my
They're
sandal,
more like Little Rocks.
they're like, if you've ever been there, you know. My foot got caught in a crack, in an uneven spot, and I was my sandal, and I went down hard on both knees. And you know that moment when you're like, no, I don't want to fall. I'm a grown adult. Here we go. No. You know, you think all those things, and I hit both knees, and you know, Hannah was like, oh my, and I was so embarrassed, and I was
That's
like,
the worst
Mom,
part.
I know, and so I rolled over and I sat up, and both knees just went with blood like that. She's like, we are not going to Target. And my right, I think this is my right one, got infected while I was there. I even had to call, because I was there for about a week, I had to call my doctor and do a telemed and show her my gross knee because I didn't know what to, you know, I did Neosporin, I tried to wash it, it was so painful. I tried to wash it off and, you know, and get all the junk out. I really worked at it, but it still got pussy. And so, I did a video call with her, and I'm like showing her my knee, and she's like, yeah. And I even showed it to somebody at CVS. I was like, does this look infected? To the pharmacist, does this look infected?
Like Lilo and Stitch. Does this look infected?
But oh, I hate it.
Well,
it's so embarrassing. So there was a big ugly bandages on my knee.
I used to walk Robert to school when he was in elementary, and occasionally I would take
The
Amiga.
elementary school we went to.
Yeah, he went to the same elementary school I went to, which is kind of cool.
The pretty colors.
And I used to walk him with the dog, and he kept saying, Mom, don't take the dog. And one day I'm walking back, and I chose a different...
Why would he tell you not to take the dog?
Because she's big and, you know, jerk on me. And I went
more sense than you, basically.
I walked back on a different side of the street than I walked there. And as I was gonna get into a corner to turn up to my house, this big dog came running across his yard, and there was a chain link fence there. He couldn't get me, but then Amiga jumped at the thing and pulled, and I went flying. And of course, right there, I went flying because Amiga was a big dog, and you know, again, it was an older part of town, you know, and so the sidewalk there was pebbles.
Yeah.
And my knee was scraped from my kneecap almost down to my ankle with all this stuff. And when he saw it later, he was so mad. He was like, I don't know, 6 years old. Mom, I told you not to take the dog.
Yeah, I was saying one of the worst things about falling down is the humiliation
Yes.
involved as an adult, because like, you know, like you're talking about, you know, being embarrassed as you're falling down when in Boston.
And you're so hyper aware, and your brain
Yeah.
works so fast that
Yeah.
as you're falling, you're like, oh, come on. I can't believe this is really happening. Is this really happening?
That's what, you know, I posted some years ago when I was in Little Rock. This would have been before my meniscus surgery, so it would have been like maybe 2013, 2000, before that, even 2011 or whatever. But that I was going out to the dumpster behind my apartment, and the cement out there was like uneven. I was probably from when they, you know, laid it or whatever, but it was uneven. And I went to take some trash out to the dumpster, and I caught my toe on that uneven concrete, and I went kersplat. And I said in my post something like, fortunately and unfortunately, there was a guy out there. You know, it was fortunate because he helped me up. It was unfortunate because I fell in front of him.
I hate that.
But the worst thing was when I fell in Arkadelphia. When I did tear my meniscus, I fell in front of all my symphony colleagues.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know, and they're like, "Are you okay? Do you need some ice?" And
When I fell at work,
stop looking at me.
when I fell at work, when I fell on that mat, you know, one of my coworkers said, "Yeah, you were walking," and then all of a sudden,
Okay, so you know, I have this very horrible sense of humor because I just it makes my husband so mad because he plays oboe and he'll be practicing, and when he makes a mistake or he squeaks like his reed or something squeaks, it just cracks me up, and he gets so mad. He's like, "Don't laugh at me." I'm like, "I'm sorry, it's funny." So when my son was little, okay, my son has special needs. He's got a hemiparesis on one side, so it's really nothing to laugh at, okay? But when he was little, he would fall. He still kind of falls a lot, but he would fall all the time, and he was little, you know, they just stumble, right? So we were laying in bed, and he was running around the bedroom, and it still cracks me up to think about it. He was running, and he just trotting, you know how you do inside, and he was kind of trotting or walking along the foot of the bed, okay? And so I could see his little head, and then he just disappeared. It was like he fell in a hole, because he fell, but he didn't like make any noise when he fell. He just boonk. And it's still thinking about it makes me laugh. And I shouldn't laugh at my kid falling down, but it was funny. But I don't want anyone to laugh at me when I fall, right? But, oh yeah, because I talked about falling in the pit the other day.
Yeah.
Last week, but this is, so I told you last week that when I fell inside the orchestra pit, and I called my future husband, he says, "Well, that was dumb." Right? Well, when I fell in Boston, I was talking to my dad, and he goes, "Did you break the sidewalk?" So I don't know why I'm so abused by these men in my life. But I'm like, "Thanks, Dad." No, but I got my knee infected. No,
that wasn't the response that he gave to Beth falling. He was
I
terrified.
know. That's what I'm saying.
Because I'm special.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, well, we had a better sign off.
Yes.
We hope that you have no falls this week.
Yes, don't fall down.
Please check out our...
and don't let your dog eat Rice Krispie treats.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
the other thing.
yeah.
Talking about what the cat drag did. Okay, the other night, I'm up late. Actually, it was a week ago, now that I think about it, because I was in Hannah's room, my craft room, editing the video. No, it wasn't a week ago. It was for the...
Wednesday.
It was Wednesday.
Or Tuesday
night. I was editing the video for my mom's birthday, right? And so I do that in the craft room so I can just have it playing out loud and doesn't bother anybody else. So I wasn't in the house, and everyone else had gone to bed, and I had to go. I went out to get a drink or something, and I hear a commotion. Okay, back up a little bit. We went to Rudy's for dinner a couple of nights prior, and at Rudy's barbecue they have Rice Krispie treats that we really like, and they wrap them in saran wrap, okay? And my husband and I ate ours. My son didn't eat his. It was on the kitchen counter. That's the backstory. So then I come out, but it had been on the counter for a while. It wasn't, just sitting there wrapped up. It wasn't like it was the first night, so it could have, But I walk out of there, and I hear this commotion in the kitchen, and my very gut-sensitive dog is standing in the middle of the kitchen chomping on Rice Krispie treat with the plastic open like this. And I'm like, what are you doing? And of course, sitting very nearby, hunched over, watching, was Calvin the cat. I'm like, Calvin, I know because I know you. You got that down for her, and you probably opened the plastic. I hope you didn't eat any of it. I hope she didn't eat any of it. And and she just came over here and muscled you out of the way so she could eat it. Because you guys, they go and they try to eat her food out from under her. And she's so sweet, she doesn't bite them.
Turned out as fair play.
Give me that. That's the last thing you need with your sensitive gut, and I hope it doesn't come back to haunt us later. And Calvin's the one who, one day my son left an open bag of honey mustard potato chips on the counter. I'm in the living room and I hear, and I'm like, it sounded like a person eating chips. And I turn around, so I go in there, and he scatters, and there on the floor is a chip, and this puddle of, I guess it was saliva, probably because cats shouldn't be eating honey mustard, and I assume he was drooling from it. I don't know, I'm like, you are going to kill yourself! And I don't know what to do about it. I mean, obviously, son, don't leave the bag open on the counter, but who thought that he would steal honey mustard potato chips? So that the little chip was all soggy and there was I'm like, I can just imagine him that. But I'm like, you're so stupid. If it's that bad, why are you still eating it?
Well, you know, I thought my previous cat, Cyrano and Hotspur, Cyrano stole a saltine cracker and chewed on it.
That's Calvin's specialty.
And barfed it up because it was too salty and too, you know.
We eat, my husband is weird. He likes, we call them teens, not saltines. Because I have to buy the unsalted tops. I guess because he grew up eating matzah, I don't know. And he likes them bland. And actually they're kind of good. But Calvin loves those. Oh, if he can get hold of a cracker, it is his day. He will eat like sandwich cookies, you know, like we buy those cheap little sandwich cookies. I find them, because Eli leaves them out.
My cat used to eat avocados.
Yeah.
I would put the avocado in a bowl on the dining room table, and I'd come back from work or something, and there would be bites out of the avocado. I mean, whole bites, not just like biting it. And, and, you know, peel and everything. Just.
Well, Hobbs stole jalapeno off my table.
Oh no!
I had gotten groceries, and we, like, you know, some of the produce, how you kind of set it out before you put it away or whatever, and I didn't notice it was gone, and we found it in my bedroom, in the entry to my bedroom, where everything goes that is stolen, with little bite marks. I'm like, how did you even? What are you doing? Like, I hope it didn't burn your. Well, I hope it did burn your face.
Well, it reminds me of my Aunt Bibi, one of my mom's sisters, was telling about a story about how one of their cats, they had made a duck, you know, in the oven or whatever, and it was wrapped in foil, but it was on a Sunday, and I guess she had made it. I don't know if she had made it for lunch or she had made it for dinner or whatever, but they didn't have time to eat it because they had to go back to church in the evening. And so they left it wrapped in foil on the dining room table, and they came back from church, and she said the foil was peeled open as if by human hands, and all that was left of the duck was the carcass of bones.
Oh my God.
The cat had eaten all of the meat. And they said the cat was on the floor in the room somehow, like going with this, like, you know, stuffed full of duck.
That reminds me of a story that it's not an animal exactly. When my son used to be in USA Swimming, and one of his teammates, they already reached their teen years, but it was right before high school, and I think the teammate was actually in high school. And I would help out during meets in different areas. And I was helping out with one of the moms that would make stuff for the coaches. So we had a long time to talk because it was just in a room. I wasn't actually out watching most of the meet. And she said she had made a roast because her parents were coming to visit. And she put it to cool while she went to the airport to get her parents and bring them back to the house. And she came home and the roast was gone. because her son ate the entire roast.
Oh my god.
And he said, I thought that was my before dinner snack.
Oh my gosh. Are you kidding? No,
Well,
he didn't.
If you recall, when Robert was in swimming, how much food he... And I was like, are you kidding me? She goes, I cannot keep up with how much food this kid eats. And he was skinny. It was just swimming that much.
But
you know?
still, oh my
But
gosh.
he ate the whole roast. I was like, she said we had to go out to eat.
Oh my gosh, I would kill somebody.
Well, we were in the process of saying goodbye.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Sent us on a detour.
Yeah. Well, I hope your cats don't eat anything bad. And then you don't fall down. And then it doesn't rain too bad. Wherever you are. And if you're in the path of the hurricane, be safe.
Yes.
All right.
And no lizards in your house.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're okay. They
Yeah, that's
they're okay. Just be gentle with them. Thanks so much for joining us. Check out our 411 project video. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.